Brian Nickel would take this thing to a $2 trillion valuation in 10 years. My opinion. Brian Nickel, which you're not going to get because he's at Starbucks, he would take this thing to a $2 trillion valuation within a decade. But you're not going to get him because Starbucks got him. And you know what happened when Starbucks got him? You know what Mamdani just said to do in New York? To boycott Starbucks. Jeez. Did you guys see that? Oh, he loves Cal. And by the way, New Yorkers, at first, people thought Hochul's not going to side with them on raising the taxes. Guess what Hochul just came out and said? She is open to raising taxes on New York corporations to fund Socialist, Mamdani's,
here we go,
freebies. New Yorkers, you asked for it, you're about to get it. Hochul is agreeing to do it. Hochul is agreeing to do it. Reportedly open to raising taxes on in the Empire State to help fund Mamdani stuff. Hochul, who is up for election in 2026, sticking to her vow to not hit high earners with higher taxes, but has had preliminary conversations about raising revenues by upping the corporate tax rate. According to Politico, the hike would help fill the more than $4 billion budget gap facing the states next year, cover some of the costs associated with Mamdani's socialist dream in the Big Apple. Once he becomes mayor, Bloomberg reported the revelation comes after a Thursday meeting with Mamdani and Hochul, in which the pair discussed their shared goals of delivering universal child care. Raising the corporate tax rate will mark a notable shift for Hochul, who has repeatedly said that she would not raise taxes when pressed by the far-left faction of the party that helped propel Mamdani into office. Now she's open to the idea. And, Rob, I don't think we have a video on this, but, Tom, I'll come to you, and then I'm going to come to the Mamdani thing with Starbucks. Go ahead, Tom.
We'll make this really quick. Hochul needs voters, so there will not be taxes raised on the voters, because even though it's the Mamdani, wants to raise them on everybody, especially the wealthy.
Like his parents.
She doesn't want to raise anything on people, so that there's no way that you can come after her. You raise taxes on people, so that she can say, fast forward next August, I didn't raise taxes on any person in the state of New York. Not one individual taxpayer consumer received an increase under my administration in the last year since Mamdani was elected. She wants that. How does she do that? Tax the corporations.
Very smart.
And by the way, if New York runs short of money, where do they go first? D.C. or Albany?
Oh, Albany.
Correct. So if she touches corporate tax in the state of New York, puts a few dollars in the bucket that she's going to need because he's going to come to her for money. I think it's that simple what's going on right now.
Adam.
I mean, to me, it's pretty simple what's going on in the Democratic Party. There's the old Democratic establishment, and we saw a couple moderate, synergist, unifier type candidates win, I believe, in Virginia, I want to say, a couple other elections. And then there's a big difference in Democratic establishment, Democratic Party, and the Democratic Socialist Party of America. This Democratic Socialist will be the nail in the coffin, I think, of the Democratic Party, because Bill Maher sort of pontificated about this, and he said it well. Yeah, Bill Maher basically said, you know who's going to end up being the great benefactor
you mind if we play the clip?
Winning?
Can you play that clip?
The Republican Party.
Play that clip, Rob, of
Bill Maher. Bill Maher?
Yeah, Bill Maher yesterday. That's it right there. There you go.
South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea. Yeah. In 1990, Venezuela was wealthier than Poland. But then Poland, finally free of Soviet-style economics, went all in on capitalism. And now their economy is as big as Japan. And people there have high wages, low inflation, cars, vacations, homes. Meanwhile, Venezuela traded capitalism for Hugo Chavez's Socialism for the 21st Century, which turned out to be like socialism in the last century, or any century, a fucking mess. It turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages, 8 million people fleeing. If you think New York can somehow reinvent this wheel, you're in for a rude awakening.
Great word.
Zoran can't make your wishes come true. You're thinking of Zoltar.
The movie Big.
There you go. So Bill Maher. By the way, while this is going on, what does Mamdani say? Mamdani wants you to boycott Starbucks, okay, amid strike. Okay, here he is. Go ahead, Rob. Is this just, it's not him speaking, it's just
I
a
thought
clip?
it was. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay, no, it's all good.
They're
Let me
not going to
just-
get between me and my
no,
cake pops.
that
I'm
song
telling you
was
right
pretty intense. Oh, there it is.
Here it is,
Go ahead, Rob.
No, it's just
I won't be
saying-
buying Starbucks. I won't be buying. Okay, let me read this to you what he says. So, Mamdani encouraged his more than 1 million followers on X to boycott Starbucks. Starbucks workers across the country are in an unfair labor practice, a strike, fighting for a fair contract. The 34-year-old won on Thursday. While workers are on strike, I won't be buying any Starbucks, and I'm asking you to join us. Together, we can send a powerful message. No contract, no coffee. On the same day, Starbucks Workers United, a union representing workers at the coffee giant, announced it was going to, by the way, I'm just thinking about my latte. Mateo, bring it in. Jake, whoever's got it.
didn't realize you were
An
coffee.
open-ended strike in what he is being dubbed the Red Cup Rebellion. As of today, Starbucks workers across the country are officially on strike. The union wrote on social media and were prepared for this to become the biggest and longest ULP strike in Starbucks history. No contract, no coffee is the hashtag. Thursday was also Starbucks Red Cup Day, during which customers can pick up a free reusable festival on Red Cup for holidays. J.C. Anderson, Starbucks Director of Global Communication, noted in comments on Fox News Digital. In terms of our annual reusable Red Cup Day, we actually had a great day. 99% of our coffee houses remained open and welcoming to customers and expected our sales expectations. Across company operate green coffee houses in North America, making it the best Red Cup Day ever. Red Cup Day is typically one of the company's busiest days. Tom, your thoughts on Mamdani here. Is this it, Rob?
This is from October, but this is when Mamdani was with the Starbucks workers, all trying to get them to unionize.
Let's hear it.
Talking about a CEO of a company who made $96 million just last year. $96 million, which is 6,666 times the median Starbucks worker's salary. That's the kind of disparity that we are seeing here. And what these workers are asking for is the bare minimum. They are asking for a salary that they can actually live off of. They are asking for hours they can actually build their life around. They are asking for the violations of labor law to finally be resolved. And they deserve
good.
a city
So good.
that has their
He
back.
is
And I am here to
so
say that is what
good.
New York City will be.
Tom, your thoughts.
Well, look, this is, as they say, this is a red meat speech. And a red meat speech is where you basically throw red meat to your followers and they cheer. That's the phrase that's used. So this is a really well-executed red meat speech around one of the absolute platforms, the key parts of the platform on the Democratic side, which has been unionization and union support in the election. That has long been a staple of Democrat politics. Things were a little bit, spicy during the election because there was unions and people that kind of leaned toward Trump. It was very interesting to see. And this is Mamdani doing nothing more than trying to go after the corporation and get people to unionize, and then you'll get all these things. But you know what? If we could find it, we can find it somewhere. There was one Starbucks that became so unruly outside with their anti-union protesting, and they had bothered the people so much that were trying to come in and use that Starbucks, that Brian Nichols said, just close the store. Just close the store there. And so that's what's going on.
He said to just close the store.
It was last week, and I believe Brian Nichols said, hey, that store, if this is going to be the problem, just close the store. Because the store really apparently wasn't a performing store, and there was so much of this pro-union stuff going on that it got like a little, not rowdy, but it got to the point that people didn't want to get out of their car, come in and grab a coffee.
There's a part of you that wants to go out and listen, where my optimism comes in is that Brian Nichols is there. I trust good operators. The other day, a guy asked me a question on one of the podcasts I was doing is, if you were to define yourself in one word, what would it be? Not family related, just purely with what you do with business. I says, I'm an operator, and I love operating. There's something exciting about operating. This last week being at CXO with companies ranging from 10 million a year upwards of $500 million revenue-sized companies. It was an incredible experience for 2 days going and talking about real challenges people face. But I'd like to see Brian Nichols reverse some weird things that Starbucks did back in 2022. Rob, can you go to that CNBC story in 2022 within 100 miles that they were, did you know about this?
What?
If you, Starbucks was willing to fund your transportation for any employee that wanted to go through the gender-affirming surgeries in 2022, they were willing to pay for it. Watch
Wait,
this.
pay for what?
Starbucks to cover employees' travel expenses for abortions and gender-affirming surgeries. Okay, so if you're going, thank you, Mateo. If you're going through a gender-affirming surgery May 16, 2022, they want to pay for that. So Starbucks said on Monday that they will start covering all the travel expenses for employees seeking abortions or gender-affirming procedures. A handful of companies are offering to reimburse companies related to abortions. Okay, and then on 154 anti-trans bills have been introduced in state legislature. So somebody may say, okay, the abortion you're going to do, Howard Schultz is a guy who's on the center left. He's a libertarian, but he's a center leftist. He's not like he's a conservative. Fine. Gender affirming, you want to fund that? Really? A little weird, man. So I hope Nickel brings a little bit of common sense and avoids the politics and just runs a business. But with Mamdani in New York, this is what you voted for. And he's coming. Corporate taxes are going to be increasing based on what our friend Mamdani, not our friend, our guy here in New York, Mamdani,
not a friend
is
of ours,
talking about.
It's really interesting. Once upon a time, I used to stop every morning for a venti non-fat latte, no whip. And I calculated 3 years in a row that I said, I wonder how many of these I've had, because I had the Starbucks card and I also had the thing on my phone. I could just do it. And I saw that I was buying 200 of those a year, like 50 weeks, 4 of them a week, sometimes 5. I was buying 200 of them a year. Do you know how much I bought the last 2 years?
What's that?
0. I stopped going to Starbucks. So I'm rooting for Brian Nickel, but I'm also rooting for him in a way. I'd like to come back, but keep working on it, because I don't feel, I know some of us go, some of us don't, but I still don't feel it yet.
Guys, we're taking donations. Times are tough. Tom used to drink coffee left and right at Starbucks, and the economy.
I mean, and can I say one thing?
We're going to get you back on track.
I'm not making this up. I'm being literal. As a consumer, I said no, thank you.
And just I know.
By the way, I'll give Starbucks credit. And this has come from a Jewish guy. I was at the Starbucks, and it was.
Wait, you're Jewish?
Yes. I don't know if you heard. And proud,
lifetime
by the way.
supply of coffee from APAC. Every week he gets his check.
A pack of coffee.
Iron Dome coffee. Shout out. But Starbucks had Christmas galore. Christmas everywhere. They had Christmas cups. It wasn't Happy Holidays. It was Merry Christmas. So there was no Hanukkah cups.
They do the Christmas
However,
stuff.
they're doing stuff. I don't know if it's Brian Nichols. I don't know what it is. They're doing Christmas.
Adam, what's the likelihood between now and the last day of your life that you will one day become a Christian? What's the likelihood?
Honestly.
Be honest.
I know how you don't say like 100%. That I'm going to stay what I am, but I will say I respect my Jewish brother, Jesus Christ. He was a great guy. He was Jewish. He lived and died as a Jew. But I love my Jewish, my Christian family, Syrian family. Not sure what's going on.
Until then, I'd like a grande
Exactly.
matzo latte.
We're not done with that. We're working on
we're
that.
the original. You're the new version. It's cool, bro.
It's all good.
We're the same people.
I've been going to Starbucks. I actually go in there because I want to experience and talk to people. And I love this because in LA, you know where Universal was? I'd go to that Starbucks and I'd see everybody. Sandra Bullock. It was like the who's who. If you've been in the Starbucks
an old name I've
recently,
heard in a while.
bro, she was gorgeous. Recently, me and Tico went the other day before we were gonna come see you guys here, and just walk into the normal anywhere Starbucks. Doesn't matter if you're in Florida or LA. The majority of people have green hair. They, them.
Maybe it's not ripe.
No, it's just they're one guy had the LGBTQ rainbow shirt on. It wasn't even LGBTQ month, but it's like they're hiring some pretty far out there people. Go in there today. We'll go there.
There seems to be an affinity between coffee and wokeness.
It's weird.
They like that brew.
Coffee, awake. I don't know
what it is.
I don't know.
This is why things like
I'm gonna get a cake pop after this.
PBD, what's the chances that
Amazing
Patrick
cake pops.
Bet David is going to be Patrick Ben David, and there's a similarity there? I don't know. People ask. I don't think it's happening.
That's a good question. I think that is 0.
So PBD, I'd like to publicly announce our partnership. You stay Christian, I'll stay Jewish, and we're going to keep the good times rolling.
But I think
I could get out.
Mira,
we think we can do a little. You think we can do a little juice? For
Everybody's
Jesus
changing their name.
I'm open, guys.
Pretty soon it's Adam Bendover.
That's that's a what joke from Tom, guys.
Okay, all right,
that's the best he's got. We love it.
Freaking Thomas.
He had to do it.
Can't help himself. No, he can't help himself.
true.
By the way, can I give you guys an update what happened with that police thing I went to last week?
Yes, please. There was some drama with that.
Yeah, there was some drama. What was the event called? It was called the Law Enforcement Organization And I call law enforcement today, yes. And I ended up getting I called out a guy named Matthew Silverman. Rob, if you want to put up his picture, I called out a guy named Matthew Silverman heavily. Didn't hold back. Didn't like the way he handled the phone call whatsoever. And after we had the call, after we did the podcast last week, he wrote a 2-page letter apologizing for what happened last week. And I just want to publicly say I respect the fact that he did that, the letter that was sent. And then I got a call from the guy that runs the whole thing. Guy's name is Kyle. And Kyle, I want to say the organization's name correctly, Rob. Kyle, who runs the law enforcement today, he called me. We had a 15-minute call with him. And I have to tell you, I was so impressed. I was so impressed with the way he handled the call. It was me and Mateo. When we were on the call together, he says, look, I don't do these events professionally myself. I'm just trying to put it together. And I don't know if, he was so prepared in everything he said with his speeches. But he got on the call. He says, there's nothing I can say. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to say, what can we do? We royally screwed up. I went back to my room that night. My wife said, what a great event you put together. I said, babe, I feel like shit because of what happened, all this stuff. And they had to pay $15,000 over for overtime that came out of his own pocket. But this is where I'm at. I told you last week I'm all about respect, and I respect the fact that Matthew Silverman, the president, called me, and I respect the hell out of the way Kyle handled the phone call. And Kyle, after you telling me that it cost you guys $15,000, I want to say here today you don't even know about this. I'm going to make the difference, and I'm going to send you $15,000 for us to pay for your, the added overtime that you had to pay to the workers at Mar-a-Lago. I know how hard it is to run events. What I value the most, 4 things. Lead, respect, improve, love. Respect is very important to me. You gave it to me. I respect it back. $15,000 will be sent to your charity sometime today for you guys to make that phone call.
Nice.
I was so impressed by Kyle. So impressed.
Really?
By the way Kyle handled them. So they posted a video, all this other stuff, what they had prepared to share, but it was getting late. We don't need to share the video. It's just the fact that they shared it is out there online. That goes respect back to what they did. So just want to make sure I did that with them. Mateo, please go to Casey and let's send that $15,000 over to them.
Can I ask you something, sir?
Yeah, of course.
You were, I don't want to put words in your mouth, upset, annoyed, disappointed, disgusted.
I value my time with my kids. Never take that away from me and waste my time. Don't ever do that, especially when I schedule something months in advance. It's that simple for me. You take that away because of my schedule the way it is, I don't like it. So, but it's been done. They made the phone call, and I respect it.
But that's my point, is that during this time of chaos, when they could have doubled down, how dare you say that? They gave a mea culpa, they apologized, and you said, we're
done.
good.
Yeah, we move on.
And I respect the hell out of that.
Absolutely.
When you're wrong,
Yep. No,
admit
listen,
you're wrong and
it
move
happens.
on.
Everybody does it. And as long as you're able to do it, it's a very easy thing to move on with. Okay, so that was quick. Let's go to the next thing here. Next story.